You know what I say, Nick? Fool me once, game. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Top 10 list.
3, 2, 1, go.
That's right. This is going to be our top 10 games we need to give a second chance. These are games we've played before.
We played them all before, and we're kind of like,
I don't know. We maybe disliked them, or maybe didn't like them as much as we thought we should. Or like, you know, we just need to give them a second chance.
Maybe we were at the wrong people. We was playing at the wrong time.
And maybe we'll like them more, or maybe we'll dislike them just as much as we always did. But this is top 10 games we give you a second chance to. But before we start, if you really like our channel, please give this video a thumbs up and put a comment down below. It's really the best way to help your favorite YouTube channels grow, is to please daddy algorithm. So please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already.
And tell us a game that you need to give a second chance in the comments below.
Yes, because
right now.
Give it a second chance.
We all need second chance. So with that, Nick, are you ready to give some games a second chance?
Yes.
Let's start with number 10. So my number 10 is a game called Tobago. This is a deduction game, competitive deduction game where you are putting out pieces and things. We all have like parts of a treasure map. It's like we're trying to find this treasure, but you have certain information, I have certain other information, that person has certain information. And we played this where this game, and it's just one that like I didn't quite get like the fun of it. Maybe I didn't appreciate deduction games because it's kind of cool, like in theory, because you'll put down a card or something that's going to basically give a rule for saying that like the treasure is next to water. Okay, now that's fact. Like that is fact. It is, the treasure will absolutely be next to water. Yeah. And then you play something that says like it's not the stone face is a little like the titular character Tobago or whatever. Is facing the treasure. So now all these statues that are around the board, it has to be in the kind of line of sight of one of those. And so from every game that you play, because the modular board and the cards and stuff and the way you play things out, it will always point to a different place, but there is a specific answer. Yes. I've also had, this is another game that's not on my list, it should be, it's like Cryptid.
I almost put Cryptid on my list.
These kind of deduction games, for whatever reason, like I just feel like I should enjoy them more and I'm not quite doing it right or something.
We're just dumb.
Maybe we're just too dumb.
Maybe we're just dumb.
So this is now Tobago / Cryptid because I forgot about Cryptid.
I almost put Cryptid on my list. It was on my short list because of the same reason. I was like, I feel like we just didn't get this.
Because I love the concept of like you do this and you say that and you do this and it will actually create an answer, but we don't. None of us know what the answer is. I think that's so cool.
It's a cool idea. Yeah.
And then like once you find out, then everyone has to race to that place to get the treasure. Yeah. And I think that for me is like where it kind of broke down. It's like, okay, you figured it out. Now go get there. I'm like, well, you happen to be right next to it, but that's just sort of luck or maybe intuition. I don't know. But Tobago is one I want to try again because I love that idea of we don't know the answer, but it does exist. But how things get played will literally change the answer, but you still will get to an answer somehow. I think it's fascinating.
It seems cool. It seems really cool.
That's my number 10, Tobago.
My number 10 is a game called Last Will. So this is a game that, again, we didn't dislike necessarily, but we were kind of like,
Sort of moved on from.
Kind of moved on from it, and then we played the sibling of Last Will, which is the Prodigals Club, which as of our last top 100 is my second favorite game of all time. It's probably still my top 5. I absolutely love
ranked.
Prodigals Club. I love it, love it, love it. And it's kind of a sequel, kind of has a similar theme, but Last Will is a game where you are trying to lose all your money. It's kind of Brewster's Millions, the board game, where you have a rich uncle or somebody who's going to leave you an inheritance, but only the poorest grandchild or whatever, nephew, niece, whatever.
Kind of saddest sack of the bunch.
Yeah, that's the person to get the inheritance. So you're trying to blow all your money, which is a theme that I think is hysterical. But it's got this kind of weird action selection system where like you select it and you get a certain amount of actions, or you draw a certain amount of cards. But we played this kind of early on, like it is a number of years ago at this point, the last time we played it. And I think just that action selection just kind of broke my mind and made me not really love the game very much. And then we played Prodigals Club a little while later and loved it. And people always talk about how much they love Last Will. One of our good friends, Paula Deming, loves Last Will. And so I'm like, I need to try Last Will again, because I think at this point, I'm farther along in my gaming career, whatever, and I'm better at handling heavy games, and I think I can handle it no problem now. I think I would like it more. And so I really want to try Last Will again, because I didn't hate it, but I was just like, I always was like, and then we found a game that I like a lot more, but I do feel the need to go back and play it at least once more to see, like, where does this one actually land for me?
Yeah, I dig that. Good pick.
That's my number 10. That's Last Will. Let's go ahead and get our number 9s. So number 9 for me is a one of 2 games that I think falls under the I've only ever played this at a con, and I think I need to have a different situation to play this in. That game is Xia Legends of a Drift System.
Yeah.
So Xia is a big sandbox 4X space game, which is not our jam generally. So I am not sure where this game will fall for me in general, but I don't really like playing these big old games at conventions. We played this at Dice Tower with two lovely people who taught us the game, and they were super fun, super cool.
Not only taught us, they had made custom content for the game. It was
really
a
whole
cool
thing, which is super cool. But at a con, we're always on a deadline because we're like, oh, we have this show we want to go to. Oh, we have a dinner at this time. So any kind of big game at a con is inherently stressful for me personally to play because I'm always, my mind's not ever completely there because people might be coming up and saying, hi, we have stuff we know we need to do later. And so this is a game that I'm like, I want to play it where it's just like, 3 or 4 of us like in a room playing it just all the time in the world. Yes. Because I think I'll like it more. I think this is the kind of game I can't really judge based off of the situation. And again, it wasn't a situation like the people were bad. The people were wonderful. It's just this is not a good game for me.
We literally didn't have time to play it.
No, we had to stop.
And we tried to like shoehorn it in, and we sort of got to teach it and played a few rounds. And so it was just like
I don't like big games at cons because I don't enjoy them as much as I really should. And this is a game that I'm like, I don't know how much I'm going to like it in the end, all be all.
But you can't properly judge it based on the experience
and it needs a second shot. And so Xia is my number 9 because it needs a second shot. It just does.
Yeah. My number 9 is a game that we've talked and made many jokes about and stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily very fair. It's Century Spice Road.
We have unnecessarily bashed this game.
We have. It's been a little.
It's been a punch bag for us, yeah.
And like I don't know if this is gonna be like the greatest game ever and stuff, but we played this in a situation where, and we've talked about it many times, we're a bit tired. It's in the middle of a day at a convention, a little local convention, and I think we're just a little bit too tired, and the game is sort of like. It just doesn't spark much of a social, situation where you're talking and getting into stuff. It's just kind of trading cubes for other cubes, and you quietly play your cards. Then you recollect your cards, and you play some cards to buy the big cards to get you points, and you get some cards, and you play those cards.
Before anyone asks, no, we have not played the Golem Edition.
No, but I do want to play that one when I try this again, is I want to try it with Golem Edition, because then at least it's prettier.
This is pretty.
And it's a game that, like, I think, I saw some people playing at Dice Tower West, and I was like, I see the merits in this game, right? And it's like kind of elegant and beautiful and simple and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I really do want to give this a go with the Golem Edition because I didn't know that the gems in that were like big and chunky. I was like, dang, well, if I had known that, I would have tried this already.
They're a bit chunky.
But it's my number 9, Century Spice Road or Century Golem Edition.
Yeah, I didn't put this on my list because I was like, I generally don't like quick, easy engine builders, and this is that. So I'm kind of like, I just don't think I'm going to end up liking the game. I do want to try it again, though.
Yeah, because I don't know, the way that it works, and you have this kind of hand of cards that you're managing, I think is interesting, but I want to give it another go.
We should try it again.
So Century Spice Road is our number 9. My number 9, sorry. But I want to try Golem Edition, to be fair.
For sure.
Because I don't think playing Century Spice Road is going to change my mind. Golem Edition might. That's number 9. My number 8 is a game that people be loving. It's Inish.
Oh, that's right. I
haven't played this one. A bunch of Irish card drafting stuff, I think. This is an area control game that where you are drafting these cards around, and it does this thing that's interesting where there's actually I think there's 15 cards. There's a very small amount of cards actually in the game.
It's a micro game.
Kind of. It's a micro game on the macro, Yeah. This is a game where you are going to be drafting these cards around, and you're going to be putting people out onto the board and kind of controlling the state of the board. And it's something this is a game, kind of all card drafting games, which you've talked about, benefit from experience with the game and knowing what kind of cards there are. And this game does that very specifically where there's only a few cards. And so you get very, very familiar with the types of cards and stuff, and then how you work things. And so I think it's a game that gets really into meta game stuff. And I enjoyed my play of it. I did, but I think I want to play it again because now I'd really have to play twice more and play them kind of in quick succession and see how does it change going from this first initial game to a game where now I have some knowledge of all the moving parts and stuff and how to work the stuff, because the drafting is interesting where you can sort of pass and then come back in, and I can't remember enough, but I was like, this is a game that's super highly regarded. People love this game, and I was like, sure, it's fine. And I think maybe it would benefit from playing it a couple times in quick succession, because then I think I can at least have the same experience that other people that do play it often have, whether or not that means I will love it. So that's my number 8 is Inish.
Yeah, I've never really wanted to play this game. So
I think it's beautiful and stuff.
I think it's gorgeous. I just never, everything I've heard about it, I was like, it just does not seem that much fun to me. But it's not really my kind of game. So that's why, but I've also never played it. Mikey has. My number 8, it kind of falls into a similar situation of Zaya, where I'm like, I don't really know how much I'm going to like this game in the end, but I do honestly think it needs another try, and that is going to be TI 4, or Twilight Imperium 4, because I don't think I'm gonna like the game. I don't think I am ever gonna like the game, but I do need to try it. I've tried it once, and I want to try it again, probably at a slightly lower player count, so it's not quite as long. And we do have plans on trying it, kind of like we want to do it with like chess clocks and stuff. But that's kind of a separate thing. I want to try it like proper,
like a normal game, normal length of time.
Yeah, because it's one of those games where I played it once. I did not enjoy it at all. But it's just one of those things where it just, for some reason in me,
you enjoyed the company and all. But
I did, of course. The company was great. But it was just like, I need to try it again. I don't know why. I honestly don't have a great reason for it. I just was like, I just need to try it again. I don't think I'm going to like it. I don't think I'm going to like it any more than I did before. But for whatever reason, this game, this grandiose, this well-regarded, this huge, I just feels like I should probably give it a second shot. And it actually did okay. It's not like it's like, oh, I need to know the game better. It's like I came in a very close third place. Like I got pretty close to winning, but I don't know, for some reason I just feel the need to try it again. So I put it on the list because I was like, I don't have a reason necessarily, but just
I know I'm gonna play it someday.
You will.
But I just like, part of my thing is, and you've touched on this before, is like I don't know if I can get my head around the fact that it's like you will play, because you're quick on your turns, you will have played a game for hours less than other people in that same game, and I'm like, I don't know what I would do with that downtime. That's too much.
You don't do much. You don't do much.
I don't. Here's the thing. I'll say this: if there's that where you can have a half hour between your turns, that's a bad design. I'll straight up. It's bad. That's not good.
Wow.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's fair.
What am I doing for that time?
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I totally think it's fair.
If you have a half hour, you had better know what you're going to do on your turn. Straight up. Like, what were you doing? What were you doing?
That's my number 8. It's gonna be TI 4. I don't know why, but I want to.
Guess I'll rewatch The Simpsons.
Yeah,
that'll fill the time.
Let's get number 7s. Number 7 is a game that Mike actually just replayed.
Did I?
And I don't know. I needed to give it another shot, and that's Brass Birmingham.
It's great.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't think you're going to love it, but I think you will respect it and appreciate it.
That's fair. So here's the thing. I have never played a Martin Wallace game that I've enjoyed.
Unfortunately, I've just had a relationship with Martin Wallace games.
I go into every Martin Wallace game thinking I'm going to love it, and I end up either really disliking it or being like, on it.
Sure.
And Brass was very much an but I tried it years ago. And again, I hadn't played nearly as many heavy games as I have now. I was pretty overwhelmed. It was also at a con, I believe. And so I'm like, I want to play it again.
It was at a game night, I think.
But or maybe a game night,
yeah. It was effectively the same thing.
But I kind of want to be in just like a closed space with just some friends playing it. And it's one of those games, again, it's like number 3 on BG. It's one of those games that's like so highly regarded that I'm like, okay, maybe I just missed something. Now, again, I don't have huge hopes because every Martin Wallace game for me, I want to like and just don't. And so
you're going to see Martin Wallace again on this list.
Just
stay tuned.
So it's one of those games that's so highly regarded. I just feel the need to try it again. I really do. And I want to try it again soon. Mike just played it the other day. And
I really enjoy it. I think it's very interesting. I completely understand why it's ranked so high. And that really turned my opinion around on the game. I think like for you don't like when people can mess with your stuff.
Yes.
And like in this game, you're not messing with your stuff, like in terms of like I'm gonna burn down your factory.
No, yeah.
But like it is very interactive.
Yes.
And so
I
don't know how that's gonna feel for you, but I think here's the thing. First of all, you will be able to understand it a lot better now because we just have grown as gamers.
Yeah. So that's my number 7, Brass Birmingham. I just need to try it again. I don't. Not huge high hopes, but I just need to try it again. I have to.
This list is, I promise, going to get optimistic at some point. Everything feels like, it's probably trash, but I'll try it. My number 7 is a game called World of Yo-Ho, which is such a cool concept for a game.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
I think it's such a cool concept for a game because this is a game that uses your phone now there's like app integration with so many games and stuff.
This was one of the first ones, yeah.
Does it really well where every person who's playing will use your phone and you have to log into an app and you kind of log into the same game. And your phone actually moves around on the board and has your ship on it. And when you move from 1B to 2B, you slide your phone down and it will register that has moved and your ship will actually start sailing and stuff along the board.
It's really cool.
If there's an island on the board and you go up next to it, it will show the island in the app. You can battle other ships. You can go to islands and have encounters. And there's a bunch of times where you get a
quests and
secret
stuff.
thing where you pull up your phone and you have like a little thing where you get some provisions or you get some sort of secret that you then put down. So I have this knowledge of what's on my ship, and it used it super cool. The only problem was we got this a number of years ago, and the app was definitely buggy.
Yeah.
It didn't stay connected well.
Didn't work very well.
I can't imagine that the
It's
app
better
has
now.
been supported really well over the years.
Yeah.
But man, this game is such a cool concept. And I want to give it one more go to see if the app has improved. And if not, then the game will go away.
Yeah.
But I don't want to call
We've
it
kept
until
it
we try it
for
again because I
years.
think it's so neat. The fact that you can do stuff and you can like select things and have your ships battle and it's all talking to each other's phone. I'm like, that's a cool idea. I like the app integration there.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was slightly ahead of its time and ahead of its ability.
Yes, probably.
But man, it was a cool concept.
I totally agree. I want this game. We want to try it again. I hope it works well because I
know.
think it's such a cool idea.
I know.
And yeah, it's really cool. That's a good call now.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that's number 7, huh?
Yep.
See you number 6. Let's do it.
My number 6 is a step-on-failed game called Bonfire. Now, this is a game that I enjoyed, but I only played it on Tabletopia. And so, you know, a lot of these games, it's just a little fiddly, right? To play on digital and have to grab these things. It's just easier to use these in real life and grab stuff and move things around. Yeah. So I enjoyed my play of Bonfire. I generally enjoy Stefan Feld and a lot of things that were going on, but that was one that I feel like it was harder for me to connect to playing it on Tabletopia.
So I don't like playing bigger games on digital because I can't connect to them.
Yeah, and so this one I do assume that we will like a decent amount. It's got some cool stuff going on, a little bit of point salad. You can kind of focus over here, focus over here. It's got a cool theme. It's like, you know, they're like these like little gnome people things. And you get these cards and stuff that give you these kind of like rule-breaking powers and stuff. So it's kind of like, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, but I just don't feel like I felt it come together in the digital space. So I really want to play it physically before I make a final determination, but there's something there that's got me, I'm intrigued. I want to find out more.
I think you'll probably like it. It's one of those games.
Yeah.
There's certain games I play digitally, but I'm like, I hated this, but I will like it in a physical form.
Yeah.
I can tell, but I don't like this digitally at all.
Bonfire hit that for me where I'm like, okay, I can't judge this on this play. I think there's something here. I want to explore more. So that's my number 6, Bonfire.
Okay. My number 6 is here because, Mikey, Praise Be doesn't miss.
Boom. Except for the one time he
did. Maybe he did. Praise Be is Phil Walker Harding. We always praise be to Phil Walker Harding. My number 6 is Imhotep.
Yes.
Imhotep is
this
a game
was going to be on my list until I saw this on yours. I said, I'll talk about it here.
Imhotep is a game by Phil Walker Harding, praise be. And it's the only Phil Walker Harding game I've not liked. And this is a game where you're kind of building up a whole bunch of different stuff, but this is a game that can be very mean because you're kind of building up your ships and your barges, and then people can just go like, I'm just going to sail that barge over here, and you're like, that's not what I wanted to happen. That's not what I wanted.
And that's the whole point of the game.
And that's the whole point of the game.
To me, it's not mean. You know what it is? It's a petty game.
Yes.
It's petty. We're like, oh, I guess you'll go over here to the obelisk. And I'm like, why? And you're like, I don't know. I guess this is where you go.
And so the thing is like we went into that game not realizing what that game was like
and how you needed to participate with the game.
And so we really disliked it because we were just like not expecting that kind of game out of that. And so we've never played it again. I've had this really bad taste in my mouth, but here's the thing. I don't like bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Praise Be Phil Walker Harding.
Exactly.
Because Praise Be doesn't miss.
Phil Walker Harding is gelato.
Yeah. Equal. Everyone loves it.
And sometimes you're like, maybe that weird like flavor gelato is still gelato.
It's still good,
Maybe
right?
I like it.
So I need to try Imhotep again because now we know what we're getting into. And a lot of people say like, I love Imhotep. What's up?
And we like Imhotep the Duel,
like
and it keeps the same vibe where it's just like, you know, oh, you sail a ship
messing with
and
each
you're
other
messing
and
with each
stuff.
other. I think we'll like it more.
Just got it because Praise Be doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
Like, we need to try it again, but I really disliked it when we played it. But I'm like, it's the one Phil Walker Harding game we don't like, and I'm like, so we gotta give Big Phil another chance.
Big Phil deserves it.
You know. So
Philly
number
boy.
6, Praise Be Imhotep.
All right, Pride of Down Under, man. That's number 6s for us. Let's go ahead and get into number 5s.
Number 5 is a game that like I feel like we're just like we must have just missed something because that is Atlantis Rising. We played Atlantis Rising. We played a 3-player game. Some people do say it's better at higher play counts. So maybe that was it. We played a 3-player game of it, and all 3 of us afterwards were like,
that was fine.
You know, it's like, and that was it. I mean,
And so many other people love this game.
And
so we're like, okay, clearly something went wrong.
So it's not even so much that like, oh, I didn't really like this or I didn't really like that. I'm just like, we must have just missed something. And I'm sure someone's like, I didn't really like it either, so maybe you didn't. But it's like, I don't know. I was going into it, both of us were going into it expecting to like it. We were playing with our friend Jimmy. He was expecting to like it.
It's a beautiful production.
It's gorgeous.
It's incredible looking.
I like the concept of like, I like games where you're like, you have a sinking island and you're trying to like do stuff before. It was cool. Everything was great. And we all left it like, eh. And so I just want to try it again because I just feel like maybe it turns out we didn't miss anything. It's just not our game. But I'm just like, we had to have missed something. I
think we've talked about this. I think we had an incredibly lucky game.
Yes,
because
it was
a
also
game where
really
based on dice rolls and how things come out, it can be easier or harder, and everything went perfectly.
Yeah.
So it was super smooth, and we like finished completed. We're like, okay,
cool.
We never once sweated anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this game is meant to make you be like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
So it just needs a second shot. It just needs a second shot, and maybe we'll see how it lands, right? But like. It was just like, we must have missed something. So that's my number 5,
We're apparently
Atlantis
way
Rising.
too good at board games.
We're
because
so
we just
smart
handled
is the issue. Look at my glasses, clearly.
Boom.
Yeah, this is how smart I am. Okay.
My number 5 is a game that we played by Bruno Catala, who we quite like, and especially when we played this game, we were high on Bruno Catala.
Hot on him.
It's a beautiful game that we kind of went, it's Yamatai.
True.
This is a game that, for us, I think, didn't live up to the art. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Was it Jeremy Fleury? Yeah,
Jeremy Fleury.
Beautiful. Jeremy Fleury makes this like most saturated color, the bright, like it's just so colorful. I'm like, how do you get that much color into your color? But they do.
That's a good question.
And this is a beautiful game, and you're kind of putting boats out and things, and I can't even remember, and this is the kind of biggest thing that I'm like, is after we played it, and I do mean like shortly after, I was like, I don't remember anything about that game.
Yeah.
Like, what did we do in that game?
Yeah.
But it is beautiful. It is Bruno Catala. It was at that weight level that we like other Bruno Catala games.
Yeah, slightly heavier side, yeah.
This should be a hit, or at least be something we enjoy.
At least okay, yeah.
And it just kind of missed. And so
Yeah.
I want to go back and replay it because I want to try to get to the bottom of that mystery. And maybe now where I'm a little bit more articulate about my board game tastes, I want to know like why, what missed? Or was it just the wrong day to play that game? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is one that I'm like, we were so surprised by our reaction.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, okay, well.
Bruno, I guess, can miss.
I was expecting like that.
Bruno was so unfallible at that point.
Yeah.
And maybe again, it was just the wrong day.
Maybe.
But it's always kind of, been an itch at the back of my brain ever since because I'm like, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong.
Maybe we're wrong, right?
I'm going to find out. That's my number 5 is Yamatai. I got to know. Because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I know, right? All right, let's go ahead and get number 4s.
So my number 4 involves the number 4. It's called Council of 4.
You did not enjoy your
I
play
had
Mike.
such a bad time.
You didn't. I was watching Mike play this at a game night, and I was playing a different game, and I was
Just like signs just saying like, save me.
I was just watching Mike getting
For the
more
love
and
of
more
God, help.
not having fun, and it was really fun to watch.
I played this game with 3 other people who all knew the game well.
Yep.
They did a very brief teach of the game and then proceeded to whoop my behind because they knew how to play the game, and they did nothing in the way of trying to make sure that the new guy understands the game and how things work. They just took advantage of my inexpertise, said, oh, you're putting your council there? Boom! Almost like, this game sucks. But I don't think it was the game. That was 100%. I was like, this is a bad gaming experience.
Yes.
In that moment,
But
I was
the game
aware.
for you.
Oh my gosh,
You know?
it did. I was just like, dude, this game is trash.
You really
For the
hated that
longest time, I was just like, I'm not even going to consider playing that game. I had such a bad time, and now I can at least understand that, like, will the game be my favorite? I have no idea. I couldn't pay attention to that. I was so frustrated the whole time.
You really were.
Because of the company. And it's just like one of those things where I was just like, this is a barrier to entry for this hobby. People like this right here are making this hard to enjoy.
Yeah.
Because they are reveling in crushing someone who's new to this table.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, it's like they're at our game night.
They were at our
game night.
you? They were at our game. We're
not invited
I've never
back.
seen Mike leave a table so quick.
Thanks
the
for that.
final score was
Boom.
done. The final scoring, he just went. It's immediately moved.
I was out. I was out. I didn't care to try to be
so
polite.
Quick.
I was out. I was like, this sucks. Get me out of this
oh
now.
My Lord, it cracked me
Council
up.
of Four is a game where you're putting counselors out. And there's all this stuff about like
knows?
The 4 counselors that are in any one little area, and you're sliding things around, you're corrupting things, and blah blah blah. Again, I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite game. However, I certainly could not judge this game based on that experience because I was so clouded and am to this day by the game experience. It was by far, singularly, the worst game experience I've ever had.
That's true, yeah.
It was terrible.
My number 4 was not that bad.
God, those people sucked.
My number 4 is a complete... the reason is I was just too new to gaming for a game of this size, and this is Dominant Species.
Yeah. You're in over your head, I dare say.
This was like literally the 3rd or 4th modern board game I played, and boy,
this
is a heavy one.
What a place to jump in.
My gosh, I was playing with our cousin Sarah and her then fiance, and they like loved this game. They're also the ones that taught me Suburbia for the first time, which is a game that I still love.
They are a big part of why we became board gamers.
Totally. And they're like, let's play this game, Dominant Species, and I'll tell you, that is a big, heavy game. Not like hey, this is your 4th game kind of game. And so I couldn't tell you what I want to do. All I know is that Hendrik, who is our cousin's fiance at the time, he just kept doing glaciation. I don't know what that even means anymore. He's German, so I'm going to do glaciation, and we're going to do glaciation. I was like, why do you keep glaciating? I don't even know what that is. I was like the spiders, I think. I don't even know what the heck was going on in this game. I still don't know what you do in the game. I know you're a species who's trying to be dominant. So this is a game that like I've always heard good things about. I know it's a big, heavy game, but now like that kind of weighted game isn't an issue for us because we're used to playing bigger games. Yeah. And this is a game that like I need to give a second shot because again, I don't have necessarily a bad taste in my mouth, but I just have this big, it's a big hill for me to climb for this one because I played it so early on. And it goes to show it's like, yo, if you're teaching people who are new to the hobby, choose wisely because a situation like that could have turned me away from board gaming. Yeah. It didn't, luckily.
Contrast to Council 4, you had really good company.
Yes, wonderful company.
That saved it.
Wonderful company. I had no idea what was going on, but it was still great. But that's the thing is like, you need to be conscientious of meeting people where they're at. Yep. And I was not at Dominant Species at all. And so it's one of the things I really want to try it again because I've heard it's good. This is a game where like, I have no idea how much I'll like it or not like it, but I want to try it again because I've heard it's good. And I was too new. I was a baby boy. And I had no idea what was going on. So that's my number 4.
A baby bird on the
I was a little baby
chain.
bird and it was rough. And so, that was my number 4 and that is Dominant Species.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and get number 3. Number 3 is the other situation where I was talking about. This is a game I need to play not at a convention, and that is Western Legends. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Every time I played Western Legends twice now, so I guess I need to give it a 3rd chance. And both of those experiences were great because I love the people I was with. But we have this thing, and Mike, I didn't do it this year because I was like, look, I just need to not play this in a convention setting anymore. But every year at PAX Unplugged, we play Western Legends with our good friend Howie. And the thing is, Western Legends, same thing. It's too big of a game. There's too many rules. I have to relearn it every single time we play it. And if that kind of game, big sandbox Western game, is not good for me personally at a convention. There's too much stuff going on. There's too much distraction. I think I would really like Western Legends and really love getting immersed in the story in the sandbox. Like, I'm going to go over here and play poker. I'm going to go over here and rob this train. I think I would really, really enjoy it if I could sit down at a table in a room and play with just a bunch of friends. Like we played it with like Paula. I would so love to play this game with Howie and Paula and all those people. I would just like to do it at one of our houses kind of situation. I think I really like Western Legends and I don't hate it, but I'm aware that like this is not the setting for this kind of game for me. I've kind of really realized that over many conventions I've been to. I'm like, I like playing medium weight games at conventions or lighter generally. And I have a tendency whenever I play heavy games at cons, it's almost always at like 10 p.m. because that's the one time where I don't have something planned.
The first time of day where we're free.
Yes, and so like I know there's nothing coming after that, so I can get into and enjoy a bigger. We played Botoku with Dwayne from Black Board Game and Mick from Our Family Plays Games, and that's a big long game. But we started it at like 8. And didn't have anything after that. And so I was like, cool, I can just enjoy this game.
No pressure.
But if there's anything after, I just can't. And so Western Legends, I need to give, a 3rd shot, an honest, true shot.
You need to give it a different shot.
Yes,
you need to give it a different situation.
And so that's Western Legends for me because I like the game, but I think I could really love it if I played it in a different scenario. And so West Legends is my number 3, and yeah.
Nice. My number 3 is Euphoria. This is Stonemeyer's, I'd say like, kind of like their first like big game, right? You know,
I think,
like
I don't know the
viticulture, around viticulture. Anyway, Euphoria is a cool game that I enjoyed, but it was again marred by the company. I played this on the Dice Tower Cruise.
You were playing with Paula, and you hate Paula.
Paula was great. Yeah, it felt a little bit like me and Paula versus the world, where she and I were like had dinner with some folks.
Yeah,
and they suggested Euphoria. And again, this was a game where they all knew the game.
Yes,
sort of. They knew the game, but like we sat and like I'll be real. At times, board gamers are sometimes awkward folks, and that's okay. Believe me, so am I. I got no issue with that whatsoever. Yeah. However, we were sitting playing this game, and they were just sort of like bickering at each other the whole time about rule stuff, and they were like,
and you Paul were just like,
we're like, okay, cool, and I'm like, I think it's this, and they're like, nope, well, gotta check, you know, and it's clearly like they have their own baggage with each other, and it's just like checking the rules all the time, and we're like, go and do a turn really quick, and you can do those turns pretty quick in Euphoria. Euphoria, I think, works well if everyone's going like, turn. It's like, turn, Paula, boom. 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 Turn, Paula, boom. And we're just like, and Paula and I were sitting back like, and then bickering, arguing, check the rule book. And I was like, this sucks. Like, I think this game is good, but Paula and I are both like, we need to get out of this game.
I was playing Sierra West with a lovely couple. It was great.
We need to get out of this.
They came back and they were just like, dude, we had a long game of Euphoria. And I was like, oh, I just had a great game of Sierra West.
Yeah, and I don't mean to talk smack and stuff, but
no,
it was
because
just
people
like,
not bad people. It's just the situation.
I was like, I think this game is good. I can see it. And what the main thing was about is like, I can see how this game could be good. Yes. If you're flowing with your turns, I can see it being very satisfying.
Yeah.
But that was not what I got to experience.
I do think pace of play is one of the most important factors in whether or not you like a game. And I don't mean pace of play of the game. I mean the pace of play of the people. Having very different paces of play. That's one of the reasons why.
So long as it matches the game.
It's one of the reasons why I didn't love TI4, because the same thing, like I would do my turn in like 5 minutes and other people would take like 10, 20, 30 minutes for their turns. And so I was just like waiting around for my turn. And I'd go, and then it would slow down a lot. And that's just how those people play. And it was great, but it's just like, for me, it's like, I do think having complementary pace of play is a huge
It's a hard one for me to get over.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if we don't jibe like on the sort of flow.
Especially the game is supposed to be snappy. Now TI4 is not supposed to be snappy.
Yeah,
so
Euphoria was supposed to, it was very clearly like, your turns should be quick. It's nothing you're doing is that complicated. It should be quick, then you move on and get to the next one. And it's about the flow and kind of going from chaining an action to another action. And I was just like, this is not the ideal. So that's my number 3, Euphoria. Yeah. I definitely can see how that game can be great, but I gotta try it again to verify.
Yep. All right, let's get number 2.
All right, my number 2, I can't really blame the company so much because I was playing against this guy, but it's Twilight Struggle.
Bless. I almost put Twilight Struggle on my list.
Now, Nick and I are not going to become like war game people. I just don't foresee that in our future.
No.
However,
never, literally never.
A lot of stuff that's going on in Twilight Struggle is very cool. I really love it's a 2-player game. It's set in the Cold War. It's set through the entirety of the Cold War. You're literally going through time during the Cold War, and it's the Soviets versus the US. Probably not as fun to play right now, but you know, a couple of years ago it felt more fun to play. It's cool because it's so set in history, and that's why I understand like why people like war games and stuff. Is like you'll play this event card, and it's a real world event that happened.
Yeah, of course.
And so you can kind of like play a card for its event, or you can then play a card to kind of get actions and stuff. You're going around and influencing the board and stuff, and you're trying to like ultimately have the most influence and control the fate of history and stuff. And in this the game, like history can change, and the Soviets win and stuff, and you're kind of doing the space race, and there's all these things. And it's one that I did enjoy. It's really a lot to kind of take in. We were being taught and kind of having someone help us run the game, which I think was helpful.
Yeah.
But it's another game that like they have an app for it, and I think I just want to try the app and play it on there. And I probably don't need to like really bust it out on a table, but I do want to try it again because like it's a super high rated game, and I do understand why people like it so much. And
I get. This is one of the I know I get why people like it. The reason why I didn't put it on my list because I was like, I don't think I really disliked the game. I think I'm gonna play it again, and really dislike it. So I was just like, I don't think this warrants like a second chance.
I think
for
I'm
me
a little
personally.
more interested in war type games than you are generally, and
I
so
would rather not play board games.
I'm intrigued enough to give it another go.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's why it's my number 2.
And that's why I didn't show up with mine, because like I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, respect.
I have no interest.
That's my number 2, Twilight Struggle.
My number 2 is a game that like we were unfair to this game, and this game is Altiplano. This game got a derpy llama on front. It's great.
It's adorable.
This game is kind of similar to Orleans, and we really like the game Orleans. And so I think we went into this game going, well, let's see if it's better than a game that we already love, a game that's probably in our top 10 or whatever at that point. Let's see if it can hold up. And guess what? It didn't, because we probably had that mindset.
I think probably a little too snobbish about it.
I think we were. I honestly think we were. And I don't think we gave it a fair shake. It's similar to Orleans. It's not the same game. And there are certain things, like I really didn't like the movement mechanic of it.
I think I'll still be annoyed by that part.
Yes. But we need to give this game, I want to try this game again, because I'm like, I feel like we were unfair to this one. I think we just did not give it. I think we were trying to, just being like, it's like a comedian come out like, and here's Mike Murphy, the funniest person in the world. And the whole audience is going to go, oh, really? Is that right? The funniest person in the world.
Dude.
And it's like, you're not going to win that fight. And I think Altiplano could not have won the fight, because we were trying to see, like,
is it
going to dethrone one of our favorite games? And it didn't. And I don't think we gave it a fair shake. I really want to try it again.
Me too.
Because I just want to.
I feel like we're going to like it a lot more.
Yeah, and we still might not like it as much as Orleans, but we're definitely going to like it more. And so I really want to try it again, because I think we were honestly unfair to this game.
Real.
In that way. And so, yeah, I really want to try Altiplano again. I think we'll like it significantly more.
I agree.
Yeah, we just need to give it a shot. That one's on us.
Boom.
That one's on us.
We're not,
we'll take that one.
The rest is on you. But we'll own our own stuff.
Yeah.
We were the bad company in that case.
Yes, we really were.
Altiplano's
like, what did I do to you? And we're like,
yeah.
You suck.
That's our number 2s. We each have a number 1, though. Let's get to it right now.
My number 1 is every Vita Lacerda game.
You haven't played any of them more than one time, to be fair, but this is going to include Lisboa, CO2 Second Chance, Escape Plan, and On Mars.
And On Mars, yeah. And then I'm sure the other ones
the
as well.
The old quad game selection for number 1. Pretty good.
My number 1 is every Vita Lacerda game. Vita Lacerda, kind of like Martin Wallace, but even to a higher degree, I want to like them so badly when I play them. Every single Vita Lacerda game, I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. I'm so excited to play it. I learn the game, I'm like, this is gonna be great. And then afterwards I go, okay. Now, a lot of Martin Wallace games, I'm kind of like, wow, I really dislike that. Yeah. I never dislike a Vita Lacerda game, but every single one I've played afterwards, I've been like, okay. Like, just
I'm so
nothing
curious as
past
to
that.
why.
I don't know. I have no idea why. Every single one I really, really, really want to like, and I'm left with a every single time. And now, granted, I've only played each of them once. I really still want to try every other one. I want to play the Gallerist really, really bad. I want to play Weather Machine really, really bad. I want to play Kanban really, really bad. I really want to try it. And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like I need, and I'm sure a lot of these games are like, yeah, after you play it more than once, you'll start to understand it more. Because they are big games. But like, it wasn't, for me, it was never like, I didn't understand what I was doing. Like, even like Lisboa, I'm pretty sure I won that game like pretty handily, if I remember correctly. Like, I did good in that game. I like the concept of like CO2. It was just like all these different things. And it's just like every single time I was just like, all right. And I feel like I need to try them all again.
I think they probably all benefit from playing multiple times.
Yeah, every single one. I'm just kind of like, all right, afterwards. And
there's a lot to take in for that game to do it the first time, I feel like. But it's also kind of tough because like it is so much to learn.
Yes.
Seemingly that like, are you going to feel like playing it back to back? But I think that's probably the best way to get into them. But I think there's a lot to mine there. So I'm with you on that.
That's
I really
my number
want to play
1.
them again.
It's every Vita Lacerda game because I'm just on all of them. And I just feel like I shouldn't be. And so I just need to try them all again. And honestly, probably multiple times for all of them. But every single one I've had the exact same reaction. So I'm like, something's wrong. I'm missing something here. And so every Vita Lacerda game is my number 1.
I like it. I only chose one game for my number 1 because that's the rules.
That is true.
But it is another Martin Wallace game. And this is on my number 1 because we went in very excited. We were here.
Yeah.
And then it went boom. And I feel like similarly to Atlantis Rising, I think we had the unluckiest game ever. This is Auztralia. Auztralia. This is where you're building out train tracks and doing stuff. And then, oh, Cthulhu's here too, which is weird. Sense. It's weird. You're like, do you want to build a farm? Do you want to kill an undead? Sure. But the types of actions you're doing as you're building out your routes and stuff like that, and you're building up your little production, we were like, okay. And it's like fairly easy to understand. And then there's these kind of monsters and stuff you have to fight. But one thing that's kind of rough is depending on how certain things come out, and I can't remember specifically how it went down, depending on how certain things come out and stuff, the game can end. There's sort of a like everybody loses situation if stuff with the ancient ones goes too poorly. And we got into this game, and I feel like we got 4 turns in. We were just getting going, and then boop, 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 game over. And we're like, excuse me? What? Excuse me? What'd you say? What That's the end of the first half of the game? They're like, no, game's done now. And we're like, oh, that sucks. That was not exciting. That was not climactic. That was not interesting. That was not fun. The game just sort of said like, you're done. It's over. And I was like, I'm not ready to be over. And like, we were like, neat. I guess we'll pack that up.
That wasn't fun at all.
I'm not going to run that back. That was terrible. And it left a really bad taste. We called that game immediately. We're like, deuces, see you later. And now I'm like, people were saying, they're like, it's very unlikely that those things happen in that way. And I feel like it's worth giving another try because the types of things you're actually doing in the game were things we quite enjoyed. And I think we had a lot of bad luck in a very short period of time. And so I don't think it's likely that what happened would happen again, but in my mind, I'm still a little hesitant to do it because I'm like, but it could happen because it did happen. I don't know, but it's on the top of my list because we went in so excited, and
I've never had a bigger difference between
you walked in high step and you're like, you're gonna love this game.
I really
you're gonna have such a good time.
I kept telling us you're gonna because I was the one who read the rule and I was like, you're going to love this game.
And then you started explaining, I was just like, yeah.
I've never gone from so excited to, it's not the lowest low I've ever had. That's London by Martin Wallace. But the difference from excitement level to reality was the biggest I've ever had in a game.
It's definitely the biggest letdown game.
Yes.
We went in so excited and we're so disappointed. But I feel like based on the way, it wasn't just because the gameplay wasn't something I enjoyed. It was because of strange, factors. I want to try it again.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't change anything.
To be fair, I do too. I really want to try it again.
I feel like there is enough there that it could be a game we quite like.
Yeah, hopefully.
But we have to find out.
We got to try it. So that is our top 10 games that we need to give a second chance. Down in the comments below, be real with yourself, fam. Be real with yourself. What do you need to give a second chance?
What didn't get a fair shake?
Which one was on you, and what do you need to give a second chance? Put it down in the comments below.
Which one was on your game group? Because,
and sometimes
I have
it
a few of
happens,
those.
right? Sometimes you're in the wrong group, whatever. Let us know down in the comments below. I think it's a very interesting thing to take a look at and being like, okay, let's not swear off this game forever. Let's give this one another shot. So that is our top 10 games we need to give a second chance to. At the very end of our video, we always have our patrons scroll by. We really appreciate all of our patrons.
Thank you, patrons.
Our Patreon. It's down in the link to the description below.
We would appreciate support us today. We really would love it.
We would love it. I would love it if I got a new patron.
How great would that be? Thank you to all of our patrons. We had some patrons now for quite a long time.
We have.
It really means a lot. It really helps us do everything we do. It helps keep a studio space for one, and that's great.
There's that too. But nonetheless, that's our top 10 games we get a second chance to. We love you all so much. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
We're the Brothers Murph, and we will see you later.
Bye, everybody. Nick, you know what I love?
18xx games.
18xx games is exactly. You know what?
You know what I don't need to give a first chance to?
What?
18xx games.
We don't need to.
But that's fine.
I've tried one, but you should try one at 18xx.
That's not true.
Games.
I need to try one. I honestly do.
You do.
And honestly, I will try it at 18xx.games because our good friends Ambi and Toby, who sponsor the Brothers Murph this month, made their own website where you can play 18xx games. You can play
for free.
Asynchronous, you can play hot seat, you can play all real time. Really cool. They have a whole bunch of different 18xx games on there. And here's the thing, 18xx games are never gonna be like my favorite kind of games.
Because we're not that smart.
But people love them, and this is a really great way to play them. Ambi and Toby are so wonderful, and they sponsor the Brothers Murph this month.
They're some of the smartest, sweetest people we know. So go support them. We support them. Check them out. Say hi to Hexy, their mascot.
It's very cute.
Hello.
Indeed.
All right, and then challenge him to a Rubik's Cube contest. You will lose.
You will lose.
But you could do it. All right.
Indeed.
18xx.games. Check it out in the link to the description of this video.
Also, big shout out to our Season 5 sponsors, Lucky Duck Games, Board Game Geek, and the OGs, Restoration Games. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Brothers Murph for this Season 5 of the Brothers Murph. And yeah, check out other top 10s that will be over there. Check out our Game House videos where we... Subscribe. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Tai Chi.